Alright, let's use the skill point we have here from leveling up. Stress call. I know I can't do any of these ones at the top yet because I only have 1 point here and they all cost various additional points here to get up to the next level because I already have 1 level in them. Basic Tactics Gunner, Special Computer Subroutines, that might be a good one. Maneuverability. Just kind of going through the list here to see what I have available to me. Calibrate Beam. Calibrate Railgun. Well, I better slow down here. I'm coming up on the station real fast here. Don't want to crash into it while I'm picking and choosing here. Overload Burst. EMP. Wow, there's just a lot of things to select from here. Shield Fluctuation. I feel kind of overwhelmed right now at the choices here because I'm not sure which ones to go with or which ones are better. They all look equally the same here. I'm going to take one in Gunner for now, and we'll see what happens later here. So at the moment, I'm just going to go dock at the station and pick up some side missions. Alright, I've got... Basically, I took every side mission I could get on the station here. This is a rescue mission here. These guys need repair. So I'm going to beam my guys over to repair whatever they got to do. There's pretty much a couple different types here. There's the repair, different types of side missions. That is, there's the repair mission. There's scan anomalies. There's grab stuff off of derelicts, and then there's attack missions. So far that I've seen anyway. There might be more later. Alright, I'm coming up on the scan and anomaly here. Now in the future I'm not going to show any of these little side missions because they seem pretty boring and pretty cut and dry. I just wanted to right now at least show you what's there. Show you what I'm doing off camera. Just so you can see what's going on and what else this game has to offer. And we're going through an energy drain area here. So this sort of progression style here reminds me a lot of Freelancer. It was very similar in that you had pilot levels, and as you destroyed ships, as you completed missions and whatnot, your pilot level would go up. And the main story arc was dependent upon sort of gatekeeper areas that in the main story arc that depended upon your pilot level, so you wouldn't get new main story missions until you were, say, level 5, level 4, whatever. Let me get to this other area. I'll cut away and then we'll come back and continue this discussion. Alright, I'm coming up on the next area with the anomaly and another derelict. So continuing the discussion I was having there, those gatekeeper sort of periods in the main quest, they sort of serve to I don't know if they were a gameplay balance type of thing, or if they were just more of a, you know, hey, don't rush through the main story arc. There's all this other stuff to do. There's a whole world for you to explore. And I see that that's what's happening here as well. The alternative to that being, say, Privateer, where the main story was always there. So it was up to you to say, okay, do you want to just breeze through the main story and not do any side quests? You know, go ahead and do it. Or if you wanted to go do some side missions, you could go off and do them at any time you really wanted to.
Morse here, sir. Insertion successful.
So that's, I personally like the...
Captain, Morse here. Job done. Team ready to
Sorry,
return to
this
the
guy, I love this guy's enthusiasm. He's like, dude, I just kicked ass and took names for you, man. I prefer sort of the... What am I going for here? I prefer the run it at your own pace type of thing, rather than having these, you know, these gates along the way that says, okay, in order for the next mission to start, you have to get to level 5. In order for the next part of the main quest to start, you gotta get to level 10. That kind of thing. To me, I understand what they're getting at, i.e., they want to show off the fact that they've got an open world, a living world that you can go into, and you really should explore if you want to enjoy the game. But I personally, I feel like that's something that should be at the discretion of the player, not necessarily at the discretion of the designer. Of course, it all depends on how they've balanced their game too. I mean, it could be that, you know, they could handle it such like an MMO would, where you wander into the next area and you find out your character is just not a high enough level, and you just get completely annihilated repeatedly. That is, it's one way of doing it. Not a whole lot of fun, I don't think. Or this method here, which says, okay, look, we're just going to make it so you can't get there because we've balanced the area in such a way that, you know, if you're not this level, then you're not going to have a fun time. Not in love with that either, really. I guess I'm more of a hybrid guy. I just want to see, you know, hey, if I want to go into an area that I'm not level for, give me a warning of some kind. You know, hey, a color coding scheme is just fine, you know. And then let me just decide whether or not I feel like getting completely annihilated or not. Maybe I have an ace up my sleeve and I just want to see if I can maybe get at least one kill and get the experience from it. Just kind of hack the leveling system, if you will. And that is one thing that seems to be missing from this is at least not that I've seen anyway. I haven't seen any color coding in this game yet. It's like everything is white as far as the text over the ship's names and whatnot. So there's no indication really as to whether or not, and I found this as I was going around trying to do stuff in the tutorial, is that there's no real indication as to whether or not, as to how matched up you are to the person to the AI that you're fighting. I mean, even in Freelancer, which follows the same story progression pattern, even there they had an indication of what kind of ships you were going up against. You know, you could look at them and say, I think it was a right click actually. You could right click on them and it'll give you, you know, this person is level 20. You know, you don't really want to face them. You're only level 10. But to each their own. I'm still enjoying it. Let's see where this other guy's at on the overview map here. Alright, he's a fairly good distance away. Should head off in that direction. One of my problems that I have here, this is not a game problem, this is just a me problem. The problem that I have playing these types of games is that my shield management is terrible. Just absolutely horrible. I just all right, I'm here at the next guy here. I sort of abruptly cut away there. I'm sorry about that. I in the middle of a thought here. I have problems with with shield management in these games where, as you can see here, I have difficulty determining when these guys are actually going to fire and when they're going to spin around. I mean, I can sort of tell when they're facing me or when their weapons are facing me, but I can't definitively tell. And so I'm often facing the wrong way here, as in, you know, I'm keeping my shield that's down facing them, which means I'm going to take hull damage as soon as they spin around. Whereas really I should be, if they're coming for me and spinning around and ready to fire, I should be spinning myself and putting one of my shielded areas, facing one of my shielded areas towards them. That would be the smart thing to do. Unfortunately, I just seem to fail at that completely. Particularly when I am flying ships that have just one weapon arc, which in this case, my weapon arc on this ship is just forward. I have to be facing forward in order to fire my weapons. Once I get into ships that have, say, rear-facing and side-facing, then I'm a little bit better at the shield management because I'll just keep flipping around to try to get the right weapons facing that are ready to go. The other thing I'm noticing too is that I have that skill, the power to shield skill. It just does not seem to work very well here. My shield is not rebuilding like I would expect it to. You know, in other games, like for instance Starfleet Command, you could do what was called a shield reinforcement. Pick one shield out of your grid and just say, I want to transfer all my power that I can to this shield. And it would sometimes take power from your other shields to do it, but it was a surefire method of at least rebuilding one of your important shields. It does not appear that's the case here. There's no power management that I can speak of in here, other than the skills that I've talked about. Alright, I'm going to dock here and repair up and try to get to level 4. Alright, I'm back, and I found some rogue stragglers here along the way. I'm trying to, I had thought when I took all those side missions that I would get up to level 4, which is what's needed to continue the story arc here. Apparently not. I'm basically flying around trying to pick off a few guys here and just get the experience for it. Got another guy over here who's taking pot shots at me. Hopefully this will be, I should be right on the cusp of leveling here. Excuse me. So my strategy so far for attacking these guys has been weapons and engines. Since this ship seems to have tissue paper for shields, I really need to get them to stop firing at me whenever possible.
We have received an encrypted transmission from Tesla. I pass it on to your personal logs, Captain.
Alright, so we've leveled up and now we can continue with the story. So I'm going to head back to Tesla. Alright, I'm gonna repair up and launch and get this show on the road.
This is the place. Scans indicate intensive space fluctuations and time shift. It's definitely level 3 rift. Starting field calibration now.
Very well, proceed with extraction. Captain, keep an eye on possible intruders. This is a very delicate procedure.
Don't worry, we are watching closely. You just do your magic. Field stable, frequency flux within normal parameters. Charging main emitters. Ready to fire counter-directional beam.
Whenever you are ready, Mr. Kosmonov.
No, another anomaly is materializing just off the side of the targeted rift. We're losing field stability.
Engage grappling beam to speed up extraction. We are so close.
But that could tear the entire ship apart.
If we don't grab it soon, the rift will crush him itself. Do it now.
Our strength output is at maximum level, but second anomaly is still gaining strength. It is shifting targeted rift back out of our continuum. Stasis rift is gone, along with ship inside. Why don't you find her with your sensors and try to extract her again?
He is not back in the rift. He is destroyed, and that rift doesn't exist anymore. The appearance of the second anomaly was just too sudden and badly placed. It's good we weren't caught in it as well.
Now what? I came to help with your rescue operation, but this doesn't look like a rescue to me.
I'm not in the mood for jokes. Our procedure is still half experimental. Accidents are unavoidable sometimes. Well, the second target is inside last-ditch system.
Fine, let's move out. Hope you'll have more luck this time.
It's alright, it was a ship full of Redshirts who lived to die to show you how dangerous your stuff is.
Captain, keep your eyes open. This is what we call a hot system.
Hot? I'll try to keep it cold for you. What is your target here?
According to our database, Gemini League Anathema, under the command of Captain Dmitry Kuzev, was lost at these coordinates.
Confirming that, Captain. Stasis rift detected, and there is a ship trapped inside.
Navigate us closer, and you know the rest of the procedure, Mr. Kosmonov.
And try not to kill everybody this time.
Maximum speed. We have our target. Counter-directional beam is leading him out. Just a few more moments.
Incoming ships. 3 unidentified vessels at high speed, heading our way.
Bring us about, shields to full, and set intercept course.
Well, it's time to go to work here. We got 3 ships here.
Maximum speed.
Let's see what kind of damage we can do here. Hopefully it's greater than 0. So the story thus far here is rather interesting. We've got this general guy who's also a fleet admiral. I don't think he can figure out what he wants to be, whether he wants to be a fleet admiral or a general.
Course lead in.
Got him secretly in contact with us, or not so secretly, depending on which perspective you look at. Apparently he knows us.
Changing course.
Is that all you got?
Now, I know that...
Too bad for
Here's kind of the weird thing here. There was a bit of a throwaway line, I believe, earlier on here, while all that exposition was happening at the beginning of the game,
Port shields down,
where
sir.
they said something to the effect of, or at least implied, that the stasis rift can cause temporary
Adjusting heading.
No, I know
amnesia,
you're not firing on me.
which sort of explains some of the other lines that have been said, like
Front shields
you know,
down, sir.
people would be interested in you because interested in my character because he used to be a spy and used to work for spy organizations.
Adjusting course.
And my character sort of plays it off as like, you know, I don't know what you're talking about.
No match for me, Captain.
That coupled with the whole, you know, you might just have amnesia about that event. Those two things sort of tie together.
Changing course.
Although it's rather convenient to have
Course laid in.
very, very specific form of amnesia. You know, hey, I can remember how my ship runs, I can remember that there was a war, I can remember some people, but I can't remember the fact that I was a spy.
Entering course.
Kind of an important thing to not forget.
Let me teach you some humility.
Entering course.
Man, these guys are really ripping through my shields here.
Sir.
So this general guy is contacting us,
Run away while you can.
and there's sort of this open question there. Is like, is he friend? Is he foe?
Initiating maneuver.
I can understand, even without the whole amnesia thing, I could understand that maybe if he was a friend, our character wouldn't know him because it's been, what, 23 years or 26 years, whatever it's been. And, you know, he's an old man now and we haven't changed.
Course laid in.
So that could certainly be a possibility.
If you only scratch my ship,
I'm sort of wondering, though,
Entering course.
I don't know how that guy
Down,
just
sir.
got
Target
destroyed, but
destroyed.
anyway,
Port shields down, sir.
Archimedes is not doing so well either. I'm sort of wondering,
you
though,
cannot succeed. Why fight
whether
if
or
you
not, I mean, is this going to be a straightforward, hey, we're trying to resurrect the Gemini League?
Entering course.
Because that other ship that was destroyed looked very similar to my ship, which leads me to believe that it was another Gemini League ship.
teach you some humility?
And I'm guessing that this ship that we're about to rescue is probably also Gemini League. So are they trying to resurrect the Gemini League to rekindle the war and
Initiating
for unification?
course laid in.
Or is it, and this would be really interesting, is it more of a, this guy was somebody I was spying on
Course laid in.
when I was in the ghost sector when I got caught by that stasis
Nobody
rift?
shoots at me and lives.
And is he really...
Target destroyed.
Well, we got a guy running away here, it looks like.
We were interrupted, Captain, but if we re-engage our extraction immediately, we just might make it. I suggest you follow that rogue ship that witnessed the whole thing and see if he has more friends in the vicinity.
Is that wise? You're quite defenseless while conducting the extraction, and I don't think that rogue ship will be coming back.
Some reports we received suggest there could be an operational rogue base in an asteroid field in this system. It would be very valuable to us if you could confirm its existence.
Very well, I'll take a look then. These rogues are annoying me anyway. I'll set course to follow the runaway rogue ship.
He's heading directly to the asteroid field.
Follow it inside.
Way ahead of you, guy. It would be really interesting, I think, if this guy was, say, what was the big bad, the Protectorate? Was it? I don't remember the name of the big bad guys that actually cloaked the Starpoint Gemini. But it'd be... Oh, well. I guess we found the rogue base here. I mean, giant asteroid with a shield around it. That doesn't stick out at all.
Aye, aye, sir. Maximum speed.
Alright, let's head back here.
Initiating maneuver.
I'm going to use my repair ability here
Maximum
now.
speed.
Since apparently I couldn't use it earlier. Too much of a power drain.
What the? Shields! Ready weapons and engage evasive maneuvers.
Calm down, Captain Kuzev. We mean you no harm. You are not our enemy.
Maybe you are not. You bear the League flag, but I do not recognize your friend or the ship. And where did you all come from? Is this some directorate trickery again?
Were you all so easy on the trigger 20 years ago? Such tension.
Please, Dr. Ridley, leave this to me. Captain Kuja, I am in service of Gemini League, or at least I was. I shall explain everything as long as you remain calm. I'm listening.
I suggest we make our way back to Tesla. There is much work to be done, and discovery of a rogue base in this sector is something the General will definitely want to know.
Tesla. A safe haven, Captain, and the best place to talk. Trust me, I've been in your shoes recently. Stand down weapons and follow them, but just make one wrong move.
So yes, he is a Gemini Leaguer.
Maximum speed. I think we're safe.
So we're making friends here, at least. Which sort of leads me to what I was trying to get at, but I had a suspicion. I sort of stopped my thought in the middle there because I had a suspicion I would have to wait for these people to talk. I'm wondering if this guy was really a bad guy and he just got caught behind quote-unquote enemy lines here. He's been stuck here for the last 26 years and now he wants to sort of get the gate reopened so that he can get home. That would be an interesting little plot twist there. Although he'll have to start a war to do it.
Initiating maneuver.
By the way, the repair ability, while I was stopped off at Tesla there, I bought some nanobots. That's why my repair ability is working. Because it has to go hand in hand with that. Unfortunately, it looks like it has heavy power requirements, so I can't seem to use it while I'm in combat. I think my ship is just underpowered, period. And I can't put anything more on it. It only takes level 1. Let's make the jump to mainstream here.
Captain, urgent business requires my presence in Will-o'-the-Wisp. I must take leave of you immediately. I trust you can escort our new guest safely to Tesla Station alone. Have a safe journey, and welcome back, Captain Kuzev.
Oh, of course, they dropped me right off in a radiation field here. That's lovely.
What sector is this? Where
It's alright, guys. We can save some power. You don't need to use the microwave for your burritos. Just throw them out the door.
And so, our fight for United and Free Gemini was futile after all. Why such pessimism? We got rid of the director, didn't we? Current situation is not as we had hoped, but things are still in motion. Right now, the situation is so shattered and unstable that nobody believes it will last for long. And what of us now? Members of former Liberation Fleet. Nobody needs us, nobody trusts us, most don't even want us. You would be surprised how useful we can be around here. Last thing you remember was one great war, and now you have many small wars everywhere around you. Just lay low for the time being. Learn a thing or two about this time and its people. If you need anything, contact me or Dr. Ridley. In the meantime, I suggest you join me for drinks when we reach Tesla Station. Good drink is the only thing they still know how to make today, and we can share some of the old stories in a company of a few bottles of the only constant in universe. Aye to that, Captain. I'm glad someone makes any sense around here.
I have so much I could say there, and I'm just not going to.